Hey everyone, let's do a quick roughly 6-month ownership kind of review and update on this car, on the 2025 Toyota Camry XLE Premium all-wheel drive that we purchased back in November. It is now early April, so give that 5-month review or so, and also do some driving impressions and a little bit of point of view driving with it. The main point of this video is to go over kind of pros and cons that we realized after our 5 months, and not so much just an overview. I'll do a quick overview of most things, but mostly around actual updates. So if you want to watch the other video, I do have it in this playlist as well, our initial ownership video, which goes a lot more in depth on a lot of the individual components. So we'll start at the back of the car this time. Still really liking the exterior looks of this one. You can see this is the black color with some nice sparkles in it. It is a really nice black. Full LED on our taillights here, have a nice kind of C design to them, as well as LED license plate lights as well. All of our badging here is nice and blacked out for all this stuff. Has a nice classic sedan look, with it being the hybrid and the XLE especially. You can see we don't have any exhaust tips being exposed. And then this one is of course an all-wheel drive. But I'll talk a little bit more on the actual driving portion in terms of how that affects the ride and handling and kind of overall confidence of the car. Opening up, see, it basically opens itself. This one came with the classic myriad of accessories, such as this the cargo net on this tray with a mat here, which is really nice, keeps your things from moving around. You know, the little Toyota first aid kit, for example. Nice size on the trunk. You can see here's how we open close down these seats. There's the pass-through. It's a pretty nice size. You do have these cargo crushing hinges here, so do keep that in mind. Good size on that trunk though, about 15 cubic feet. Coming around to the side, you can see we have these XLE wheels, which are nice. They're 18s, and then our tires on this one is going to be a 235/45 R18 Continental. These like Pro Contact TX. Pretty solid tires so far. You can see this is what it looks like with the moonroof open. Kind of interesting. It just kind of comes out on top of it, which is a different look. This one does have the panoramic sunroof. Go ahead, quickly step onto the interior, sitting behind my wife, so I'll have a little bit of room. You can see here on these door panels, this is hard touch. You do get soft touch where your arms are. A little bit of storage down there as well. Popping in, we do have these nice rear seat vents, and then a USB-C and USB-A port. We do have a nice center armrest. It's a little interesting to pull down. There's no latch or anything like that, so you just kind of gotta dig your fingers in, but once you do that, it comes down super soft on the armrest, and then it kind of just sits across the bench here, and you get your cup holders, which are a nice size and fit most things. They are kind of square, if that makes sense, so they don't fit everything, but they fit a decent amount of stuff. So with the seat actually moved up a decent amount more, I do actually fit, being pretty tall here in the back. The one problem though is that I don't really have much headroom because of this nice panoramic roof. With this being back, it also kind of hinders the rear visibility, but yeah. We also do get these dual mat pockets, so you can put some stuff in there. With that being said, let's go to the front. Taking a look at the front doors here, we do have a soft injection molded plastic here as opposed to the back one, which is hard. Otherwise we get mostly the same stuff here. We do get this interesting, I'll say, I've soured on it to be honest, this kind of micro suede cloth material here. And then we do get, I do like this plastic. It's not a glossy black, it's kind of like a satin black, and it has held up pretty well. Get our door switches. We do get our locking to lock out the actual windows right there, our power mirrors, and then our memory seating, which is a nice touch here on this XLE. You do not get that on the XSE. Stepping inside, We do get the rain sensing wipers here on the XLE. You don't get those in the XSE as well. And as I mentioned, I have soured quite a bit on this material. It's actually the first con I'll mention. You can kind of see it picks up hair. It concerns me for long-term ownership about it holding up well. I don't think it'll hold up all that well, and the XSE does have a leg up in that category. It's just kind of like a leatherette padded material, which I would probably prefer.
It also is like a dog hair, cat hair magnet, and the worst part is the dogs and cats really have not even been in here. It's just what's on our clothes that gets transferred to it.
So quickly going over just some of the features here. So on our steering wheel here, we do get on the left our D-pad to kind of control this 12.4 digital gauge cluster to call someone, or I think hang up the phone as well, kind of back button. The volume rocker, which is not the highest quality, it kind of rocks around. This is not me actually actuating it to actuate, like you actually click up, and just the movement of it is a little interesting there. So not a big fan. On the other side here, we get our adaptive cruise control stuff around our following distance, our different modes, the lane centering, and then just to turn that on. Also to skip songs, and then our mode button right there. Coming down to the left side here, we get a lot of our controls around the automatic high beams, the traction control off, the brightness of the gauge cluster, and then our rear to open the trunk and the gas cap itself.
So ever since my husband decided to get a base Ranger, which we love, it's actually fantastic, I never realized how much I appreciate having a mirror here. The amount of times that we're driving and I'm like, oh, I think I have something in my eye, a Boofy or Boonie hair, which is our dog or cat, and I'm like, oh crap, nothing's there when we're in the Ranger. So it's really nice to have this. It's given me a whole new appreciation for this mirror and that light.
One quick question, do you like the light being here, or do you like the lights being here on a typical basis?
I mean, I'm used to it here and I feel like it works really well for me there, but I could see the pro of this. However, when I've had them right here, sometimes the light shines in your eye and it can be a little bit more distracting. But this has worked for me pretty well. So I think it's really just personal preference.
Going over a couple other features here, we do get an auto dimming rearview mirror. We get our garage door opener here. If you live in an apartment, it probably won't work there, but if you actually own a house. We have our controls here for the power sunroof, our shade control, and then our actual other control, our SOS button, and then our actual lighting switches. Going over the center, without it being on, again, if you want to go a little bit more in depth, look at our original ownership video. And we do get heated and cooled seats on this XLE with the premium package. Great feature. We do get the automatic dual climate control. All these are physical buttons, so the CarPlay does go complete full screen, which we'll show here on our actual driving portion. And then we do have our hazard switches. Down here we get our wireless charging pad, which is one of our pros. It works really well for a wireless charger. Doesn't have problems with disconnecting, does charge relatively quickly, heats up the phone a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Then coming down here, we do have our automatic transmission, pretty traditional, you just come straight back with it. Does have a sport mode here, right, it is S, and you also have a sport mode here. So we're not totally sure why we get the two different sport modes. The other small nit here around the stitching is we do have this bronze stitching as a general theme in this XLE. You can see here on the actual the steering wheel, as well as the center armrest, and even on the doors. But for some reason, this stitching is not the same. So it would have been nice to have a little bit more cohesive there. We do have an absolutely ginormous center console. It could be a little softer, to be completely honest. It is pretty soft, and it's just huge. Like, I can fit my entire arm on here, which is a really nice touch. Both of us can. The other thing too is when you actually open this up, it is pretty large in size. Does have a 12 volt there. We got a lot of stuff in it, but it's pretty good sizing.
Another con, this is just forgotten. There's a lot of like paperwork and stuff in here, but like you can't really see what's in here. It's like deep to reach into, and it's awkward. Like, it's well designed in the fact that it's pretty much hidden. You can't really see it, but it's forgotten. And again, just it's deep, surprisingly, but it's just, awkward.
So some other cons that we have, both of these armrests actually do rattle a decent amount. This car was built in about October of 2024. So I believe they started production earlier that year, let's say May or June of 2024 for these 2025 models. So it's a early-ish build, but not super early. So it does have a couple rattles here and there. Nothing crazy, but just I do notice that. The big thing that we have a kind of a love-hate relationship with is this sunroof, this panoramic sunroof. One, it does pretty drastically reduce headroom in general. I'm pretty tight in headroom both in the front and then especially in the back. The other thing is, here is it open. You can tell we have this big bar that kind of blocks and is in the way. And then we also just have the fact that this is as far as it opens, like it's like about halfway.
Why doesn't it open at least to the bar? That's what I don't understand, because even to the back, you can see there's still room for it to go back. It's just the track that they chose to put it on doesn't make sense to me.
Some of our other kind of final couple of cons. So in general, I'll talk about this a little bit more in the actual POV driving video. The brake feel on this car is the biggest kind of driver input that just isn't super cohesive all around. It's great, like you know, the actual accelerator feel, steering, how everything feels in general. But the brake feel is one thing that does leave a lot to be desired. It is a hybrid, so that's kind of be expected with that, you know, regenerative braking. But it is something that I wanted to point out is the actual feeling of that braking. Another kind of general con that we have, and this is probably, it's a kind of a big cohesive con here, is just around kind of tech problems with the vehicle. So we've had a lot of issues with the CarPlay kind of not working. It is wireless CarPlay, which is a great feature and definitely a pro, but it doesn't always come on, and you, like when you start the car, it'll turn on and then it will just go to the base infotainment. It won't actually connect your CarPlay, and you have to go into the phone menu, click connect CarPlay, and then it will actually connect. So that's definitely one big thing. So we do really like the mobile app that comes with the vehicle. It has some really good features to it. On this one, it does have 3 years total, 1 year for free, and then it kind of, you paid for another 2 years of that. After that, you do need to pay for it, which is a bit excessive. For example, on the Fords, you don't have to pay anything for it. One of the biggest cons here is that only one person can have this access. I'm assuming I could log into her account, but I would like to just kind of have my own account here. But Kayla's gonna quickly go through the app for it and kind of show off what that looks like.
Okay, so I actually love this app. So it tells you your odometer, it tells you how much gas you have your info. So if you just have whatever, I don't actually ever use that part. But what I do use a lot is the start, lock, unlock, because I can be very forgetful. So having the ability to lock it and have a notification, love. You can do your hazards. You can go in and adjust the climate to be exactly what you want. So like I'm always cold, so I have my heat seat always turned on and then just have it set to what I want. You can do defrost, you can turn the heated steering wheel on.
So for context, that's when you remote start at your climate. You're not adjusting the climate via that, it's for your remote start settings.
Yes, for the remote start. You can lock your trunk, unlock your trunk, do your horn. You can do guest drivers, which is pretty helpful, but Austin and I have actually tried to do that. And if I have a guest driver, it kicks me off and I have to reset up everything through the app. So it's like starting from ground zero, and it's actually pretty annoying. So it's not very usable. But with that being said, you can also go in and do the status. You can see your tire pressure. You can see if the doors are unlocked, the windows are open. You can see the health. So if you have any recalls, like I currently have a recall for my back seat right now. So I can do that. I can contact the dealer. It's very cool. You can go into the shop, you can go into the find, you can go into your pay, and you can go into services to make appointments. All in all, I really like the app, but again, the most use I have is from this page right here. But you can also download the digital key. So my phone is basically my car key. So what I do is if I ever forget my key or anything like that, I can still get into my phone, get into my car, unlock the doors, start the car, drive somewhere just with this because of this digital key, which is phenomenal. It's very Tesla of them.
One of the other cons that we've noticed is this does have a heads-up display, which is a super cool feature, but it doesn't always show the maps. So Apple Maps is supposed to be integrated with it, but it doesn't always show that, kind of hit or miss, so probably a bug on that side. All right, we'll tie it up with just a quick overview of what the vehicle looks like when you turn it on. Go over this digital dash real quick. So one of the other cool things that we really like is obviously this digital dash it looks really good. I have this set up for my profile, so it actually has kind of like the different dash, the gauges that I selected. And one of the really cool things is you can actually tie, even though the app only allows you to have one person with the app, you can actually tie the 2 different key fobs with your actual memory settings right here. So my key fob that I will take when I go to get her gas or I'm taking the car for something, it would actually put my seat into the position, so the memory seat. Also it ties in with the mirrors and
Gauge cluster.
And of course the gauge cluster and your different profile settings there. The only thing that it does not have is, of course, this rear view mirror is manual, so you know you can't adjust it with that. You also see, as I was mentioning earlier, with the CarPlay here, because we have all these for our physical buttons down here, this actually will be completely full screen. And so you can see like it will just take up the entire thing, which is really cool when you want to have maps and other items like that. And with that being said,
like and subscribe so you can buy me a new car.
Thanks everyone, have a good day.